today, the 30th.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you, Jade. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's Mayor's Manager meeting for Wednesday, March 30th. In the room with me today is Mayor Pro Tem Steve Ward, City Clerk Stephanie Carlisle, Assistant City Clerk Jay Truscott Reed, City Attorney Tamara Niles, Assistant City Manager Tim Dodd, and City Manager Shawn Lewis. And by room, I mean virtually. So, Shawn, I'll let you get us kicked off.
Thank you. We'll start with April 4th. We have a resolution approving the Walk and Wheel Master Plan update. And let's see, we have, okay, that's regular. So we don't have any study sessions on April 4th.
I believe there was something and it just got moved. Is that right, Jade?
Yes, so that was the FMLA insurance presentation, and that ended up getting moved to 4/11.
Okay, and Tim, that was just because that one wasn't ready yet?
Yeah, they just needed a little bit more time.
Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there was another topic we can move up. I guess as we go through the agenda, we can look. Next is oh, go ahead, Mayor.
No, I was thinking the same thing. I think the 11th is kind of booked up, but anyway, go ahead.
I thought so too. So the next one is equipment purchase from the pothole patch truck. And the next is 7 police vehicles from Silter Motors. Then a proclamation for Arbor Day, a proclamation for Earth Day.
Oop, and I did want to go ahead and jump in on these 2 proclamations. As you see, Mel will be presenting the Earth Proclamation and Adrian Torres will be presenting the Arbor Day one. He will also be introducing our new forester, I believe.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so I just wanted to keep everybody updated on that as well.
All right, great. And then we'll have the makeup of the strategic plan session. Award of a contract to Summers Construction for alley grading and stabilization. Approve an ordinance of a PUD 3600 South Galapago. Equipment lease for through Caterpillar for backhoe loaders. Approval of an IGA with City of Sheridan for vehicle maintenance and repair. Bill for an ordinance agreement with Arapahoe County to receive CDBG dollars for the Emergency Energy Efficiency Inglewood program. Consider a bill for an ordinance amending Inglewood Municipal Code for the festival permit. An equipment lease purchase through Komatsu. And then
that is a test item. I was testing the approvals. Apologies if that's still in there.
It's all right. It got us through April 4th. So it looks like there's no time frames to do, but do we have consent answered on all these?
I believe, yep, I believe so, but we can review if needed.
Can we go to the top just because there was one for patching that was set to no?
Oh, for
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
Patching truck.
But it's the truck. Okay. It was up above that. There it is. I want to put it to yes, but I guess we'll leave it to no just based on what I said previous meetings. So.
Okay.
They usually get pulled, so no
Yeah.
problem.
I guess the question is, should they be on consent and just get pulled, or should we just leave them off? All right, moving on to April 11th, we have study session for organized garbage and recycling collection, and a study session regarding paid family leave insurance act. Yeah, that's not going to work. I mean, that'll be I assume that's going to probably be, well, we marked it as 50 minutes for the study session.
This actually may be a pretty short item. It's whether we should opt out, and I contacted CML and they indicated they don't know why we wouldn't opt out. So apparently all cities are opting out at this point, or they anticipate they will.
Well, that's good info.
Mm-hmm.
So
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, so city attorney, is that something that we can bump up to the 4th?
I don't know. Vicki McDermott, my office has been working on it. So let me reach out to her and find out what the status is.
Okay, appreciate it. Go ahead, Shawn.
Then we have the next study session item is City Center redevelopment update with SKB Triba. Yeah, so this whole meeting is a study session. I guess that's not as critical. And then the PEL for Santa Fe, early recommendations, and then preliminary 2023 revenue and expenditure forecast assumptions. And that'll be really your first kind of start to the budget. We've got some costs that we're going into 2023 already knowing, including last or this week's study session on policing. So we'll have some of that, trying to build some of that into the forecast.
Yeah, looking at this, Shawn, it already looks like we have 3 big items if we want to include the budget as part of that. So that city center and trash hauler.
Yeah.
Whatever we're able to move to either the 4th or push back.
Yeah, I agree.
4 hours.
Jade, can you check with Maria and see if they can move the Santa Fe PEL up?
Yeah, to the 4th.
Yes.
I will check in on it.
And then, as Tamara said, she'll check on the Family Leave Insurance Act.
So Tamara, it sounded like, do you think 30 minutes would be needed for that medical leave?
I don't know. It was originally set for much longer, and I spoke to Vicki, and we moved it down to the 15-minute presentation. The issue is there's optional program through the state where we can pay in premiums for additional paid leave, and but we already provide benefits to our employees, and if we opt out, employees can still choose to participate even if the city doesn't. I did just get a response from Vicki, and she said we can move that back to the 4th.
Oh, great.
So
Ooh,
yeah.
To I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, that's great news. So
Do you still want us to move PEL?
I do.
Okay, perfect. We'll see what we can do.
Can we scroll back to the 4th and just see how many items are on there? Because I thought that was kind of long, and just depending on how long sustainability goes, since we pulled it last time. Were there any major items outside of that? No. Walking wheel. No. Just scroll down. Proclamations, strategic plan.
That's mostly purchases.
Okay.
There's not very much on consent, so those would all be independently considered too.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's fine. You agree with that, Mayor Pro Tem?
Yeah, I was just going to chime in. If it helps, I'm comfortable with the agenda on the 4th.
With the 2 items?
With the items that are there. And I don't think that we're going to spend a terrible amount of time talking about vehicle purchases. So there's a significant number of items, but I don't know that the time commitment is that large.
Yep, I agree. Okay, we can move to the 18th.
All right, we've got the first item up is the consideration of Citizen of the Year. That's the only study session at this point. This one might be one where if we can squeeze in, especially after Monday night's meeting, we probably really need to start the discussion on taxation. And I think we're ready to go with some thoughts on that from either a public safety or a street and alley transportation tax. So do you mind if we slot that in here? Mayor Pro Tem?
Well, I'm thinking about it. So the 18th, yeah, I would think so.
All right, and then so we could potentially have those 2 study sessions because I don't think Citizen of the Year doesn't usually take terribly long time. And then we've got authorization of the acquisition of property for the South Inglewood Flood Reduction Project. We have 2 of those for the 2 parcels. And then we'll have Elevate Inglewood, or did I skip something? No, resolution changing the alternate council member appointed to Dr. Cog from Steve to Cheryl. Then the Elevate Inglewood graduation, followed by a Small Business Week proclamation, consideration of organized garbage and recycling center, initiative, collection initiative, and then approve a motion for professional services agreement with Root Policy Research. And this is.
Sorry, I wanted to chime in. Actually, I believe this item on the 18th will be the public hearing. I apologize that didn't reflect as such, but we do have it ready to go to be considered as the administrative hearing. And then that was what I was going to check in with you guys is if we had heard if the contracts do extend past April and we can vote for this item on the first meeting in May, or do we need to make a special meeting for the last meeting in April?
Well, in terms of the sending the contracts, I didn't realize, anyway, I can ask Maria that.
Okay. So as of now, just leave it as a motion, or are we gonna move it as a public hearing? I think it sounds like it's gonna be a public hearing regardless, right?
And then Tamara, can we have a motion after a public hearing?
Council policy says if there's a hearing, then the item will not be considered until the next meeting.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay.
Boy, that's just another painful meeting. Could we do the public hearing? Oh no, that's a study session. Couldn't do that. Okay, so next we have a motion to approve professional services. Oh, we already said that. That's for the housing assessment, 159,000. And then approve a bill for an ordinance approving an IGA to increase funding for US 285 and South Broadway interchange. That's through TxDOT. We're beefing that up a bit. And then approve an ordinance for an MOU between Inglewood and the Colorado Energy Office for contract services for energy performance contracting. Ordinance for Inglewood Municipal Code regarding growing weeds. This is the taking the word growing out of the code so that code enforcement can enforce dead or partly dead weeds in the city. Approved bill for an ordinance regarding medical marijuana license bond to reflect elimination of bond under state law. And lastly, authorize agreements necessary to complete city ditch relocation project.
Okay.
That is a pretty beefy agenda. Moving on to April 25th, we have estimated assessment penalty fee, the March financial report, review preliminary 2023 capital projects list with city council and boards and commissions, and then update on neighborhood map project. All study sessions. Moving on, Public Service Week proclamation on May 2nd. Also, utility, sanitary, sewer, CCTV inspections. Moving on to May 9th, Code Next update on the economic development strategy, which is a strategic plan that you all had to provide a little more money in the budget amendment for. So we're going to try to give council regular updates on that strategic plan. On May 16th, we have a presentation for payment of city use tax, and we actually have decided to pull this off. So I'll just let you know, give you a more thorough briefing in one-on-ones, but essentially, this is a tax that's paid by, city departments, but it's also paid by other governmental entities. You know, if CDOT does a project in our jurisdiction, any other governmental entity except for the school district when they're doing a bond project. So the code does exempt them for bond projects from having to pay that tax. But staff is not, you know, staff put this on, and now staff, after further discussion, is taking that off. But certainly if council has any concerns about that, we can put it back on. And then on May 16th, we have an executive session requested. May 23rd, excuse me, yeah, May 23rd, April monthly financial report, 2 proclamations, Pride and Juneteenth. And those are on June 6th. Thank you, Jade. And then June 13th, boarding commission interviews. And I think the rest of these are, well, got some budget things slotted in here as well, but. And then I just had 2 council requests from Monday, just questions that we weren't able to answer on the spot. One was the per capita policing or other metrics that, you know, help council have data points for optimal staffing. And then, Mayor, that one was one that you mentioned. And then Chelsea had the, just the, what are other cities doing? So we're working with police to put those both as council requests.
Remember Russell had one and I can't recall what it was. I didn't write it down, Shawn, and you may want to ask member Russell.
Yeah.
She, God, I can't think what it is off the top of my head, but I recall just writing down her name and not writing something down.
Yeah, I'll message her right now.
Okay. Anything else from staff?
Not for me. Anyone else?
I don't have anything.
Anything from you, Mayor Pro Tem?
No.
All right, perfect.
Oh, actually, Mayor, sorry, I do have one other thing. Speaking of police, so will council be giving some direction in terms of doing a budget amendment for part or all of the request, the direction from Monday night on policing? Would we just take that during council comments? Or should we put I guess my question is, should we put an item on or just let council ask for that during their?
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we do it as council member's choice or mayor's choice where I could bring it up?
Perfect.
Does that work?
Yes.
Yeah, that was an open question I had about how quickly we wanted to move on that.
Yeah.
And can I just get a title that you would like to have placed under that, under the mayor's choice?
Would it be budget amendment for
Budget
what would we
amendment
call-
guidance for police?
something along those lines? Yeah, budget amendment, potential budget amendment for
Police services.
police. Yeah. I was gonna say
Okay.
head count. That doesn't sound right. Anyway, cool. Anything else, city manager?
I don't believe so.
Cool. All right. It is now what, 8:49. This now concludes today's mayor's manager meeting. Everyone have a great day, and I'll see you guys on Monday.
You too. Bye-bye.
See you then.
Bye bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.